I'm Jordan Tata. I am the National Key Account Director for Loop One. I've worn a lot of hats at Loop One, so I've been the Director of Sales of SolarWinds Help Desk. We have a hosted solution of that. I've been an ISR, and I've also managed our managed services engineering group. So been on a lot of sides of SolarWinds in terms of optimization, IT operations management, and everything that goes along with how do we make this stuff work better and make our lives a little easier. So, Helen, are we good on this poll to advance to the next slide?
We are indeed. I've
Okay,
shared the
good.
poll results, but I can quickly run through them if you like. So it looks like the majority of the audience are either network engineers, system administrators. We got a few monitoring specialists, some IT help desk, service desk, and then some IT managers and directors. So
Great.
quite a split.
Yeah. No, that's great. Thank you everybody for participating. It's important for us to know, who we're talking to. It does give some context, but it's, as we know with Service Desk, it touches all roles at an organization. So today we're going to be talking about automatically converting SolarWinds NPM alerts to tickets with SolarWinds ITSM. So I've already done my introduction. Again, I'm Jordan Tata. I've been here about 6 years. I will pass it over to the smart folks in the room, first and foremost being Phillip Everett from Loop One. Phillip, you want to introduce yourself?
So my name is Phillip Everett. I am not actually a 3D rendered llama. I'm a sales engineer with our US team. I also do provide some coverage with our UK and EMEA team from time to time. So I've been working with SolarWinds for over a decade at this point, and I've worked with the vast majority of products that SolarWinds produces. And I've worked as an end user, an administrator, professional services engineer, and now a sales engineer. And I've worked across a wide range of industries, from military and government to the medical field to education, manufacturing, and the energy sector. So if we have any technical questions that come up over the course of this webinar or during the demo, I will attempt to answer those to the best of my ability.
Thanks, Phillip. And over to Seyi. You want to say hello?
Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Pardon my voice. As Jordan mentioned, it is a COVID world, and I'm also on the mend here. But my name is Seyi Verma. I have been with SolarWinds since 2020. My current focus here is leading the product marketing efforts on the ITSM solutions from SolarWinds. Truly welcome all of you to today's session, and looking forward to a very good interactive session as well.
Great. Thanks, Shane. So when we talk about who Loop One is, I wanted to just go through this slide briefly and give some context for the experience. If you're not familiar with Loop One, we were founded by former SolarWinds folks. So Bill Fitzpatrick, our CEO, started as a SolarWinds sales engineer in 2008, 2007. And left to become to start Loop One shortly thereafter in 2009. So since then, we've been performing professional services, training, configuration assistance, anything under the SolarWinds sun for the last, how many years is that? 13 years now. So it's expanded. We've grown. Don't want to say in lockstep with SolarWinds, but we've grown along with SolarWinds in a lot of ways, and now we're a global company with offices in UK, London, Sri Lanka, and Germany. So we have follow the sun coverage with our assortment of SolarWinds professionals who really have worked with companies of all shapes and sizes. Helen, I think we need to do some counting. I think we're going to be closing in on 5,000 professional services engagements. We'll have to double check. I think we're getting there though. So again, when you talk about being in all kinds of environments all over the world, all types of industry, we really have that experience. it's ingrained in our organization, and the engineers like Phillip, who have moved around, from delivery, from being practitioners to professional service delivery to now on the sales side. You're getting to speak with folks that have done the jobs that you're doing, have used SolarWinds, have the same scar tissue, as we like to put it. So the other thing that's not on the slide, and I've been fighting Helen to get this one on there as well, is that our sales team holds many SolarWinds certifications. So they've got SolarWinds sales badges that really just teach you about the tools. And when you call Loop One, you're getting somebody that knows the licensing, we know the functionality to enough to be dangerous, as we like to say, and we're experienced in dealing with, with the different types of licensing models that SolarWinds offers. So we like to say that we're a well-rounded company in terms of SolarWinds on all sides. But really what brings us, what makes us an elite partner is the delivery expertise, the number of SolarWinds certified professionals we have on staff, the engineers that make the things work, that configure, that optimize, and make your lives better. So the elite partner status is one to point out in the top right. It's a newer designation, one that we're proud to hold, and one that there, I think, are only 4 others in globally. So when you call Loop One, as I said, trying to emphasize here, you're going to be able to speak to somebody that knows the language. In terms of Service Desk and the overview, this is where I turn it back over to Seyi, and I'll let you run through your slides, sir.
Thank you. All right. Let's see if I can share my slides here real quick.
You should be able to, Shay. There you go.
No.
Perfect.
All right. Once again, thank you for having me. So today's agenda is pretty much driven by the fact SolarWinds has a product which is essentially the SolarWinds Service Desk solution. And so I want to basically start off with making sure that we all start off from the same page, give a very high overview of what a service desk looks like, then introduce you to the SolarWinds Service Desk solution. We'll talk a little bit about the integrations that we have to offer with the Orion platform that we have, and then we'll probably give you a slight taste of what the product looks like. With that, we do have a poll question. So just out of curiosity, which SolarWinds products are you currently using? Network management, system management, application management, database management, or IT security, or the ITSM solution itself. This will give us a good idea of what products you're currently using in terms of the expertise that you have, and potentially see how we could potentially help you with, or where we can help you with in terms of your ITSM requirements. So I'll leave that up there for a few minutes, and Helen, please do let me know when I could move forward.
I will indeed. So the poll's open. We've got about, 28 seconds left to go. You can advance to your next slide if you want, and I'll share the results and chime in.
All right. Okay, great. All right, so what is a service desk? Very popularly known as a ticketing solution. However, over time, the service desk platform or solution has evolved quite a bit, actually. So in today's date, it is more of a modern IT service management solution that really helps in providing services to the employees of an organization in a very efficient manner. Now, it starts with the IT side of things, naturally, as you are involved with providing applications or or laptops or whatever it is to your employees. So it typically starts from the IT side of things. But as I mentioned, that has evolved quite a bit over to spill into other departments of an organization. And by that, what I mean is that there are other departments within an organization that also provides services to the employees of an organization. So let's take an example here. Essentially, the HR team, they provide benefits. The facility team, when you have someone coming into the office, make sure that there's a phone, there's a laptop, there's a monitor, there's a desk, there's a chair, whatever there needs to be in the office for that employee to be productive. The IT team gets involved as well. They provide monitors, they provide laptops, all the IT services that they need to provide to the employee as well. Then there is the legal team that gets involved with an employee if he's involved in anything that has to provide legal services or requires the legal team to review. So, for example, NDAs and the likes of it. And at the end of the day, there is also the finance team that helps with the paycheck. So, lots of these organizations have these various departments that provide services to employees. So, while ITSM starts or is at the core of the IT team, the ITSM solutions have now expanded over or are spilling over to other departments that could be used, that could use this ITSM solution to provide a very streamlined service to the employee. And the benefit at the end of the day to the employee is he or she doesn't need to know who exactly is helping him or her, but really wants to just get their job done in the most efficient manner. And so at the end of the day, with today being a very remote workforce, for example, I'm located in California, and if I have any issues with the IT services that with the laptops that I have, or I need someone from HR to help me out on something, or something from the finance department, or I need to get an NDA signed off, all I need to do is file a ticket. And what actually happens is that these workflows or these work streams are all automated now, so that I don't need to go and find someone to solve my problem, but instead I file a ticket and Automagically it gets resolved. So that's the idea of what a modern ITSM solution does. It essentially starts with the IT team, and then it expands over to other teams within the organization that provide services to employees and automates these workflows in a very timely and efficient manner so that the employee can essentially do what their jobs are at the end of the day in a very productive manner. So the benefits really for an ITSM solution is to provide a centralized location for service activities. And again, I'd just like to say it's not focused just on IT, but any of the services that the other departments have to offer. Streamlines the service delivery process, making sure everything is done and provided to the employee in an efficient manner. At the end of the day, it's all about reducing time to resolution, which is essentially translates down to cost for the organization. So it helps to reduce the cost and ensures employees have access to the services that they need to do their job. Doesn't matter where they are. It could be in one building or it could be in some remote location on a beach if they have their work from beach option, for example. And then at the end of the day, everything is being tracked. It could be used for SLAs creation and making sure that all these audits and service issues that are being provided are in compliance with regulatory requirements of the organization and, of course, of the region that they are in as well. Now, if you look at a typical ITOM portfolio, things are quite siloed at the end of the day that we're seeing with a lot of customers. They have all kinds of solutions from the application performance management to the network to the infrastructure and database performance management. And the good thing is a true solution from an ITSM perspective sits right on top of all of these various solutions. And if they are all well integrated, the communication process enables to break down the silos that exists within the IT team, so that everyone knows, or at least the people that are supposed to know, are aware of what's happening, what is down, what isn't down. And while these orange boxes, application, APM, database, and they're all focused on reducing mean time to detection. The service management solution is more focused on mean time to reduction of the service that is being provided. So if these solutions that we have in Orange will help you determine quickly what is the problem, and the service management side will help you reduce solving that problem per se. So it really doesn't matter where the IT team sits. It could be on premises or all the way up to the private cloud. An ITSM solution well integrated with the other various IT teams, IT solutions helps to break down those silos and improve communication between the various departments within the IT organization as well. Just a quick overview of the SolarWinds ITSM portfolio. We have the SolarWinds Service Desk, which is a cloud-based ITIL ready solution. Naturally, it is all in the cloud and it's offered as a SaaS solution. Then we also have the web help desk solution. This is an on-premises solution that helps organizations that are not yet in the cloud for whatever reason it may be. And so we have that solution available to our customers as well. And then, of course, within the ITSM portfolio, we have a remote support option as well, where through a single click of a button within the ITSM solution, you can now remotely log in to the employee's laptop to solve those particular problems. So it's a remote login solution that is fully integrated into our ITSM portfolio, where when you have an incident open and you need to log into their computer, you don't need to fire up another solution. You can literally just click in from a single link and log into the employee's computer and try to resolve those issues if necessary. All right, so in terms of capabilities that we have in SolarWinds Service Desk, as expected, it is fully capable, or rather it offers a comprehensive solution to organizations, starting all the way from incident management, where you have something that's happened and needs to restore service to certain individual or to the business as quick as possible. Then, of course, problem management capabilities as well in it. A lot of times people, what we've seen is confused with what is an incident management solution and a problem management solution, but essentially helps you group all these incidents into a particular category and see if there's actually a problem that is occurring. And at the end of the day, you want to solve the problem so that these incidents can be minimized. So the categorization of all these incidents and grouping of them and providing a solution from a problem management perspective is also available. Then there's change management and release management, which are very closely tied to each other. Naturally, if you're trying to release something and you're trying to make a change to the infrastructure or something of the sort, you have those capabilities from a full life cycle management perspective. And then ITAM and CMDB. ITAM is the IT asset management capabilities. We have the discovery solution, which will incorporate all your assets, and again, life cycle management of the entire asset, not only just from the asset perspective, but also purchase orders, and the likes of it. You can completely see which vendor has what solution, what licenses you've bought, what are expiring. And then you have the CMDB database, which will help you understand what is the impact of taking down one particular server down relative to the impact that will have as a daisy chain on other services and other solutions that you're providing. And it gives you a good visual map of the interdependencies between various infrastructures that you have in place. And then service catalog and request management, which is all about expanding the ITSM solution beyond just IT. And I had talked a little bit about earlier, where we talked about how other departments are using this solution to provide services to their employees. So all of these features are available within the ITSM solution. On top of all of that, what we also have, and that really starts to set us apart, is the available of AI, is the usage of AI. There are a couple of things that we do when it comes to AI. First and foremost, when an employee tries to search for or tries to file for a particular ticket, we will make smart suggestions to them that, hey, this problem could be resolved by this through the knowledge base that we have based on the sentiment um, that we deduce from what they're actually typing in. That not only helps in reducing the tickets, but it also makes the employee self-sufficient to the point where if a solution does exist for their incident, that they can go ahead and resolve it themselves. But on the other technician side, where AI comes in, is in terms of routing all these incidents to the right people at the right time based on the SLAs, and also ensuring that all these incidents and making suggestions to the technician as to how to resolve certain things. So all of this brings AI into the picture, and we actually are able to, hence as a result, reduce the mean time to resolution for tickets that is typically seen within an organization. In fact, we've seen up to 45% reduction in MTTR, mean time to resolution for incidents, based on AI. One of the good things about this is that the employees become also very self-sufficient, and due to the suggestions made through AI, both on the technician side and on the employee side, we've seen that the customer satisfaction rate, in this case, the employees of the customer, has significantly improved for many of our customers as well. Now, we talked a little bit about DRE, which is essentially the remote login capabilities, so I won't go much into it, but as you can see over here, it really has that one single click button within our solution to remotely log into other devices and solve those problems that the person is. But really, today's discussion is more about the integration with the Orion platform. One of the things that we've seen is in smaller organizations, people have different teams working on their ITOM portfolio of solutions, and different teams are working on the ITSM side of things. And as a result, when there are alerts being developed or generated on the ITOM monitoring solutions, and you are trying to solve for the problem because incidents are coming through the ITSM side of things, downside if it impacts an employee, there are lots of things that gets dropped off in terms of translation of what the problem is, and it becomes a very manual process for lots of the alerts that are being generated on the Orion side of things, and being manually entered into the ITSM side of things, whatever solution you may have. And so with the SolarWinds Service Desk platform that fully integrates with the Orion platform, you have now the ability to automatically transfer all the alerts being generated within the Orion platform into the ITSM platform, and it collects all the CIs, all the dependencies, all the asset information that gets transferred into the ITSM platform automatically and gets attached to a particular incident. What that helps with now is that anyone that is working and trying to resolve a particular problem is fully aware of what's actually happening when a particular infrastructure is going down, and gets informed of the steps that are being taken to resolve these problems. And at the end of the day, they're all kept informed as to the progress of what's going on. And naturally, it's a two-way communication between the SolarWinds Orion platform to the service desk. And the benefits over here, really, it eliminates the manual efforts, improves accuracy, and helps agents react faster. As I mentioned, it auto converts alerts to tickets, auto updates alerts in the Orion platform because it's a two-way communication street, incorporates all the asset data of ITS into the ITSM solution to view and manage all infrastructure when it comes to the CMDB being updated in terms of the visual that we provide for the CMDB feature. It attaches all the configuration items to the alert generated tickets as well into the ITSM solution. So naturally, you don't have any manual efforts left in trying to bring over from the Orion platform or the network performance monitoring solution, whatever that you may have as well. With that, I'd like to go ahead and pass it over to Phillip, who can now actually give you a slight taste of what the SolarWinds Service Desk solution would look like for you in your environment. Phillip?
Excellent, thank you. So let me go ahead and share my screen here.
Moment of truth when the demo screen
Yep.
is coming up. So thank you, Seyi. That was great content and questions we get asked all the time, which is it's great to see those highlighted again.
All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
We can indeed.
Okay, so to actually perform the integration between Orion and Service Desk on the alerting side actually involves two major components. The first is the actual integration of the platforms themselves, and the second is the configuration of the Orion actions to open or close incidents. So to begin this process, you'll actually start over on the Service Desk side. So regardless of what menu you're on in the Service Desk, you'll come down to the Setup page, and you'll find in here a list that will include things like your setup home, account, users and groups. What we're looking for is integrations. And you'll see right there at the top, we have integration with Orion Alerts. So when you navigate to this page, you will see any existing Orion platforms that you've already integrated. But if you're going to do this for the first time, you'll come over and click the plus sign in the top right-hand corner. You'll provide a name for your Orion instance, and this does not need to be a URL or anything like that. It can be a friendly name that you would use to identify this particular Orion instance. You can provide a description if required, and then you'll list who the requester is. And the requester is basically who is asking to integrate this. Usually this will be yourself, but if you're doing it at the behest of, say, your network administrator or your systems administrator, you would select them from the list. Once that is done, you'll click the Create button. And when you click Create, this will generate a token, and you will need to copy that token to your clipboard because the next step involves navigating over to your Orion platform and coming over to Settings, All Settings, and under the Alerts and Reports section, you'll click on Manage Alert Integration Instances, and you will click Add Instance, but you can also see this under any existing instance. You will drop that generated token into this box, provide a name for the service desk that you are integrating Orion with, and then you can test the connection. When that connection tests successfully for the first time, you will see the URL populate here. If you need to add a proxy or edit proxy settings, you can also do that here before you test the connection. Once that's done, you will hit Save. And back over in your Service Desk instance, you should see the Orion instance that you've integrated with. And if you click on the name of that instance, you'll see the name and description that you provided. You'll see who requested this instance be integrated, and you'll also see the unique ID that was created for Orion whenever you integrated it. And if you need to recreate that token because your integration was broken on the Orion side, you can regenerate the token here. So before we move on to the alert integration side of things, do we have any questions about integrating Service Desk and Orion?
I can't see anything at the moment, Philip. Remember, if you do have questions, you can drop them in the Q&A or in the chat window in the meeting window, and I'll put them to Philip.
One question for me, Philip. I mean, you've been a practitioner before, so in terms of connecting to a service desk, connecting your SolarWinds alerts, where does this rank in terms of ease of setup?
In terms of ease of setup, I would say actually integrating the alerts is significantly easier than building the alerts themselves.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, it's a conversation we have all the time, so great. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so the next step, once you have your two instances integrated together, the next thing you will need to do is actually integrate the alerting actions with Service Desk to generate tickets. And to do that, you can actually navigate to the page we need to go to a couple of different ways. You can either go to Settings, All Settings, and come down to Manage Alerts under Alerts and Reports, or you can go to Alerts and Activity, click on Alerts, and find Manage Alerts in the top right-hand corner. Once you are there, you should see a list of your existing alerts. If you have not already integrated alerts with Service Desk before, you will have to come down and find the alert that you want to integrate, and you will edit that alert. Once you have the alert open, you will come over to Trigger Actions, and you'll want to add an action. From the list, you'll select Create SolarWinds Service Desk Incident, and you will configure the action. You'll provide a name for the action, and then right here you will select which SolarWinds Service Desk instance you want to integrate with. Under Entity Attributes, you will see the entity attributes that you are passing over to Service Desk. So in this case, by default, it's handing over the caption, which if you are not familiar, is effectively the friendly name that Orion uses to reference a node, the IP address, the polling method, which is going to be whether this is an ICMP only node, SNMP, WMI, or a node that's polled by an agent, and its existing status. So if your device is down, it will tell Service Desk that this device is down. And the status description may also provide some additional information. The vendor will be, say, Cisco or Windows, or could also be a HP if you're looking at an HP appliance of some sort. Custom attributes will hand over the title and description of the alert. So this will basically at a high level tell Service Desk what the issue is. So if it is node down, it'll know this is a ticket for a node going offline. And your description will be whatever description you provided for that alert. Your time of day will indicate when this action can be taken. And your execution settings will indicate whether or not you want this to fire even if you have already acknowledged the problem in Orion, or if you would like it to repeat this action every X period of time until the problem is resolved. Now, once you have added that action, you will have given this alert the ability to open incidents in Service Desk. If you wanted to be able to close the incident on its own whenever the problem is resolved in Orion, then you can come to Reset Actions, and you can effectively repeat that process by creating another Service Desk incident. And what will actually happen here is this will be an update to the incident, and that will typically be a closing of that incident. So do we have any questions regarding integrating your alerts with Service Desk incidents?
I can't see anything at the moment, Philip.
Okay. So that effectively is the process for integrating Service Desk with your Orion alerts. Now, as far as future developments, these are not necessarily in play yet, But if you come down to Setup in Service Desk, there's a section here labeled Labs. If we click on that, you can see there's a few different items here. These are basically early access features that have not been fully implemented into production yet. There is a function here called auto mapping of Orion nodes. And this can be turned on. And what this will actually do is it will basically marry up information from your Orion alert with information from the Service Desk CMDB. So if you have information on these devices in the CMDB and Orion that maybe don't quite match up, or information that's needed for a user in Service Desk to identify which specific asset it is that's generating that ticket, this function right here will automatically include that information in the incident. And that is Orion and Service Desk integration in a nutshell.
Phillip, I'm curious, in your experience, when someone talks about integrating alerts with Service Desk, one of the common requests we get is we've got too many alerts. I mean, is there any hesitancy with doing this integration when you got someone that maybe thinks they've got too many alerts, or will this help kind of sort through the noise?
So stopping the noise is actually needs to be done at the source itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, and it really comes down to the individual alerts. If your concern is Orion itself is generating a lot of alerts, then you need to really examine that and see if it is a particular alert that's causing alert storms, or if it's your alerts broadly across the board. If it's a particular alert, then that alert specifically should be addressed. Either its trigger or reset conditions need to be reevaluated, or the alert should just be redesigned from the ground up so that it's not flooding your inbox. But you definitely do not want to turn on the alert integration until you have gotten the number of Orion alerts down to a manageable number. Otherwise, it will create excessive tickets.
Right. And there is a magic number, right? An exact number of alerts people should have, right? You got the silver bullet figured out?
I wouldn't exactly call it a silver bullet. It's more like it's as they would say in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. It's not really hard rules. It's more like guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
But the general rule of thumb that I've seen in a lot of organizations is once you get to about 30 or 40 alerts, you're starting to hit the number of configured alerts that are either becoming difficult to manage or are going to start generating more emails than you can really handle. And a lot of organizations will hear that number in bulk because they feel like they have more than 40 different types of problems. And generally speaking, they're right. They do have more than 40 different types of problems they want to track. But if you properly build your alert logic, you can actually capture a lot of different things under the same alert umbrella and still capture the information you need and get it to the people that you need to without having to create multiple alerts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think a lot of this is all configurable, right? So you can configure what alerts you want to send over from Orion to Service Desk, and that helps in reducing the noise. The good thing is it's all configurable. So depending upon what is acceptable to you, you can take it from there.
Right. And in a perfect world, the alerts you're building in Orion are going to be, meaningful and actionable. So most of them are ones that you would probably want to create tickets on, but that is in a perfect world, and we all know the world is not perfect. And sometimes alerts are built specifically with the intention of not opening tickets. Sometimes they're built just so you have visibility on certain items there within Orion itself.
Yeah, I think it's worth the conversation with us, and that's in SolarWinds, because when I was the director of sales, it was they would always complain about inefficiencies with CRM, which if you've ever been in sales, that's the biggest headache is filling out the CRM and how do we make it more efficient and deleting all the busy work. Well, I always tell them I don't know how much busy work you've got until you put it into the CRM. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You don't want to wait for something to be perfect, I guess, before you create integrations like this because it's never going to be perfect, Philip. I don't think we've ever spoken to a client that says I am totally happy with my service desk and my CMDB.
Yeah, I don't think I've met someone that's that big of a liar yet.
So I don't want to monopolize the time. If anyone else has any questions, Helen, have we seen anything else that come in through the chat?
No, not at the moment. We had a couple related to alerts, but I think you addressed
Okay.
most of them.
Okay. And there's a whole mountain of other integrations here as well. So for example, if you use SCCM, you want to populate your assets through SCCM, you can do that. Well, there Philip brought them up. I need to have the demo going.
So you can integrate with Jira, remote support, Microsoft Endpoint Manager. There's a very wide range of potential integrations. You can also see that there is here under Labs an experimental integration with Slack.
Well, which is everybody knows we need some more Slack alerts, so we're looking forward to that one. We've got Teams, and I think Teams is in development as well, right? Or is that one out in GA, Philip?
I don't know if that one is, it's not in Labs, so I don't know if they've gone ahead, I don't know if they've gone GA with that one yet or not. I haven't.
Seyi, do you know? I forget we have the
Believe they
product
are
marketing
in,
manager here.
yeah, I believe they are in GA with the first phase. There will be a
Fantastic.
second phase coming shortly.
Yeah, that's we're excited for that. We're a Teams house. So before I grab the slides back from Philip, does anyone else have any questions? Want to snoop around with Philip here before we go back to the PowerPoint for a couple wrap up slides?
Nothing's come in. Oh, hang on. One's just nipped in. Let me have a quick look.
Okay.
Is there integration to QR scanning software?
That's a new one.
I don't believe there is at the moment, but as you can see, we've got integrations here in Labs right now, so more integrations are coming.
It also depends. What is the QR scanning software? I'm assuming this is to integrate their assets into ITSM.
Yeah, I would assume he's referring to something that can scan in QR codes.
Yes,
to.
correct. That
Got it. Well, we
Yeah,
do
to
have Discovery solution, which can essentially, while it's not a QR scanning solution, there are two solutions within the Discovery. One is an agent that can be installed for discovery of assets. And then the second one is naturally a scanner that can scan the network to add those all to the ITSM solution. Yeah.
The one of the nice things about SolarWinds Service Desk is it has an open REST API. Part of what's made Loop One over the years is maybe a good segue to some of the wrap up slides, but I'll just touch on it briefly here. Is creating some expanding the capabilities of tools via SDKs and APIs. So we built stranger connections, I guess. So it's certainly worth taking a look at if it's not out of the box yet. But if we're no more questions have crept in, Helen, I'll go ahead and
hand control. There you go. You have the power.
terrifying moment. And Seyi, oh man, it took us right back to let me scroll through real quick. Seyi, I think this is where you could talk about some of the reviews that we've seen for Service Desk.
Yeah. So essentially, a lot of people have asked us how do we fare out in the world of ITSM. And the real highlight here is we are a very respected solution out there that has been reviewed quite a bit by a lot of the ITSM folks, including some of your peers. Feel free to go and check us out to see what people are talking about. I will tell you, though, off the bat, the one common thread that you will see is that we are a very easy to use solution. One of the things that actually sticks out relative to, I don't know, let's take Service Desk for example. Let's take ServiceNow for example, is that, time to implement the solution is roughly about 6 weeks on our side relative to months. And of course, you don't need teams of people to maintain your particular solution, thereby decreasing your return on investment. We're a very low code solution that is highly rated by a lot of your peers. And one of the themes that I said earlier was that very, very easy to use solution from the ITSM side. And it is actually quite intuitive as well. But yeah, feel free to take a look at some of these places where people are providing some feedback in terms of how their experience has been as well.
Yeah, I
Next
can
slide, please.
certainly vouch
Sorry.
for that. We've got ServiceNow and Service Desk in our shop just because we try to mirror what our clients use. And I'm not a technologist, and Service Desk is certainly much more intuitive for me. Absolutely.
Finally, there are lots of resources available on the SolarWinds website. If there's something in particular, if there's something of particular interest to you, feel free to visit solarwinds.com, and all you need to do is go to the product section, click on the ITSM, and all the products that we talked about, including the features, what customers are saying are on our website. So feel free to visit our website and take a look at whatever you're needing from there.
All right, thanks, Seyi. And yeah, just a recap for a couple slides here. So again, if you are interested in getting some help with some hands-on services for your Service Desk implementation, or looking to migrate to the Service Desk, or add it as a complementary tool, we've actually worked with clients who've had us install Service Desk and connect it to their ServiceNow. They had their reasons to do it, and you can imagine in your orgs where that might be the case. So yeah, lots of use cases, and we're certainly happy to talk about all of them with you as it relates to SolarWinds. So the various levels of services you can see here. If you've got a current environment, we offer free report cards. You send us an Orion Insights report, and we give you back some feedback, steps to take, things, low-hanging fruit to take care of that'll greatly improve performance or alerting capabilities, etc. Those can turn into scoped projects in our professional services engagements with our engineers that can come on site, go anywhere around the world, and deliver hands-on experiences for you. Report cards can also turn into full-fledged health checks. Like if we take a peek under the hood and realize, hey, there's steam pouring out of this thing, maybe we want to do a more comprehensive deep dive and really see what might be going on. If you've got a legacy instance, there are gremlins that can arise in SolarWinds and Service Desks that maybe it wasn't you, it was a practitioner before you. You just need someone to come in and provide a little bit of guidance, documentation, sanity to it. Got our managed services group. Think of it as block hours. Call us when you need us. And then it evolves into our IT operations model based around our Lime services, which is Loop 1 monitoring maturity model. So we've taken all of this from a SolarWinds perspective and turned it into a managed solution where we can evolve your environment from something that's maybe ad hoc or reactive into a proactive, let's look at things before they go wrong. And that takes the day-to-day off of your hands. It allows for unlimited enhancement through our Service Desk. It allows for that integration to your Service Desk to create visibility across organizations, and basically turns SolarWinds and into a revenue generation tool for you, an ROI tool rather than a time suck, and something that if you're not someone whose specialty is SolarWinds or network monitoring, and you've just let it sit idle because you don't have time, this is a service to explore. And this looks like a repeat slide at the top, but it kind of digs in a little bit deeper into the breakdown of those engagements we've done over the years. So when you go back to take a look at this, you can see some of the specifics around the deployment services, customization services, optimization and development. Really for Service Desk, because it is SaaS and it is multi-tenant, you're getting upgrades and enhancements from SolarWinds 100 plus times a year, I think was the last number that I heard. This thing is a tool that's improving constantly and consistently. But if you want help because you don't have the time, we're the team for you, because we can provide that hands-on experience. And then the development, I think, is one worth highlighting here, because a lot of what we do around Service Desk is going to be, hey, we need integration. We've got these APIs, we need to connect things, we need to make sure that people have visibility, and so we can create correlation and do our analysis for the business. Some examples of our experience with integration is really dates back to the early days of SolarWinds, and we were among the earliest companies to create that ServiceNow integration. We did the same with Web Help Desk. We have a long history of expanding the functionality of tools. Over the years, we've expanded that subset of here's the Service Desk we've worked with and integrated SolarWinds with. We even own and host we own the only hosted version of SolarWinds Web Help Desk. So Seyi mentioned that at the top. I bring that up, all those things up, to say that we've got experience in the conversation. We know, as it relates to SolarWinds, how to generate a quality experience with Service Desk and how to generate alerts that are meaningful and timely, as Phillip mentioned, and that are going to the right places. SLAs that work, automated escalations within those SLAs using the AI that Seyi talked about. So highlighted some of the recent work we've done with SolarWinds Service Desk specifically. This is all, again, just to wrap it all up in a nice bow and say, if you need some help, if you need just someone to talk to about it, what would it take a Loop 1 engineer in terms of a project for us to do it? That's a quick call. It's 45 minutes. Get me and Phillip on the phone. We'll ask a few questions. We'll say, well, if we were to take on this project, here's an agenda and here's how long it would take us to deliver that work. If you've got people available, you feel confident in their level of expertise, then you take that and maybe you decide to do the work yourself. That's the approach we take. We want to give suggestions, not paint anybody in a corner and say, here's what you got to do. This is an intuitive tool. But again, when it comes down to time, ability to carve out an extra hour in a day to learn a new tool, we can sometimes speed that up for you. I think that brings us to the end. Seyi, back to you. I think on this slide, just to talk about some of the pricing, if you'd like to touch on that real quick. Seyi, I think you're on mute still, but
Yes, sorry.
that's okay.
Well, I'm not authorized to really talk about pricing.
Perfect.
Having said that, sorry, what? What were you saying, Jordan?
No, sorry, I didn't mean to put you. I'm good at painting
that's
engineers and folks in the corners.
No, that's quite all right. But at the end of the day, the pricing plans are, I'm glad you did bring it up. The pricing plans are available on our website. And we do provide a lot of transparency in terms of how we charge our customers. The service desk plans do start at a very competitive level. I don't think we should ever that should ever be the real reason of concern. What should be really of concern is if we can meet your requirements in terms of what you're looking for in an ITSM solution, then pricing shouldn't be the concern for you. We should be able to take care of that. because we do offer it at a very competitive price. The good thing is that we do offer a 30-day free trial. Would love to get started with you and see how it integrates with your Orion. One of the key things about this integration that I have seen that lots of customers actually benefit from is the fact that they really get a single vendor solution today. And tomorrow, what's going to happen is that ITSM will be fully integrated as well into the platform, such that you can now pick and choose a lot of your services that you need from SolarWinds, and it's all under the umbrella of one particular platform. So it'll be very much integrated moving forward. Today you are getting a single vendor solution, and tomorrow you will get a good free, you will get a true sense of what a single pane of glass looks like from a single vendor moving forward.
Yeah, and certainly reach out to us. We are part of being a lead partner is having that reseller capability. So we're happy to help get you guys a quote, get you connected with your sales rep to get that demo set up, or again, have Phillip or one of our SEs run through that again for you on a personalized level. So I think we're at time, so I've been perfect. Thank you for everyone for joining. Any questions certainly that you still have, I'm happy to hang on. I've got nothing behind this, but Helen, did you see anything else pop up in the chat?
No, nothing else has popped up in the chat at the moment, Jordan. As you said, you can either reach out via email as well. I'll include the details when I send the follow-up.
Wonderful. Well, this is something we're very passionate about, SolarWinds, and helping our clients' lives get a little bit better, mean time to resolution, finger pointing more efficient, however you want to put it. We want to help improve your life, save you some time during the day, speed up that learning curve, and all it takes is conversation with us. So I know Seyi and his team feel the same way. We're all ready to help. Please reach out. Seyi, I'd like to give you a big thank you for joining us today. And if you had any parting words, then I appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Just a quick reminder, if you can complete the survey as you leave and give us some feedback, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks all. Thanks, Seyi. Thanks, Phillip. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, guys. I'll be good.